WCW's list of innovations, pay-per-view numbers. By numbers, I mean frequency per year. Prices going up, I believe, before the WWF did, and it didn't affect price buys. Going 2 hours instead of one, presenting big matches every week. What innovations that you came up with, or WCW as a whole came up with, that the WWF then stole, are you most proud of, or that you think people might not know about?
Well, I think there's a lot of them. I think the most important one, and I think the reason that we're talking about WWE today and being acquired by Fox or Comcast or the Saudis or any number of other, major corporations, you're talking about a company today that has a $6.6 billion market valuation. And a lot of the reason for that was born out of the Monday Night Wars. The biggest of them all, and the reason AEW exists today, is because I was the first one and the only one to go to a live weekly format. And by becoming a live action weekly show, not occasionally, not every other week, but live every single week, is the reason, one of the reasons, that WWE and AEW are in the position they're in today. Because there is other than traditional sport and news, nothing is live except for wrestling. And I did that. I forced Vince to do that. Vince didn't want to do that because going live every week is expensive, very expensive. And it doubles your cost of your production, actually. And I forced Vince in order for Vince to keep up with me, I forced him to go live every week. And that one move is probably more responsible for the success of this industry today than anything else I did. But in addition to that, the reality-based characters and storylines. If you go back and look at WWE storylines in 1995 and the characters in 1994 and 1995, when 1995 is when Nitro launched, characters were animated, cartoonish, and they were really designed for teens and preteens because that was their market. That was the business model of WWE. I forced WWE to adapt an 18 to 39 or an 18 to 49 presentation. And it took them about a year to do it. You can go back and look because it's all available. You can go back and look. Go back and look at the first time Vince McMahon shows up wearing a black jean jacket instead of a stuffed three-piece suit. Go back and look at that. Go back and look at the first time Vince McMahon acknowledges being the guy that's running the company. That happened a year after I was doing it, along with the jean jacket. Go back and look. In fact, it happened in November of 1997 when Vince McMahon cut an interview where he said, we're going to change the way we present this product. We're no longer going to insult the intelligence of our viewers. That was Vince McMahon saying, we're going to go do what these guys are doing because this NWO stuff is kicking our ass. So we're going to come up with our own version, which is, by the way, what do they call it? Generation X. That was their version of NWO.
They even stole the suck it thing. NWO was doing that long before.
Yeah. I mean, all of that was a reaction to what we had been doing that allowed us to defeat WWE in head-to-head competition for almost 2 years. The cruiserweight division. You look at AEW today, entire show's a cruiserweight division. I was the first person that not only brought in, because other people had done it. Paul Heyman did it in ECW, but nobody saw it. It's kind of a secret because nobody watched that show. But to bring in to create a division specifically for guys that were under 200 pounds, because that style of wrestling, that luchador style of wrestling, and let's talk about that. Yes, luchadors had been, again, Paul Heyman had a couple in there, but I was the first one to bring that luchador style of wrestling to prime time on a major platform in the United States. And guess what? It's still here today.
Mhm.
Guys like Rey Mysterio Jr. have had amazing careers. His son is having an amazing career, all because of what I did. I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but you go back and look at the facts in the timelines. Going live, more reality-based television and storylines, bringing in the luchadors. You talked about giving, presenting main event level, pay-per-view level matches on a weekly basis. All of that stuff is considered to be, oh, that's just what we do in wrestling today. But it wasn't until I did it. And that's what, I take a lot of comfort in. I don't worry about, people patting me on the back or telling me how great I am. Because I know what I did. I know what I did. I don't need people to tell me.